Well, I'm going to tell you this. I couldn't be more proud of our football team tonight. You know, we struggle working through some things. I think you guys that have followed us early in the year, we haven't played particularly well, and there's a lot of things we're fighting through. And I challenged them in the open week, man, about your fight and your passion. You know, and that was the thing about, hey, I want you to go fight. I knew we weren't going to play great tonight, right? But I wanted to see them go fight. So we didn't play great tonight. Everything wasn't perfect. Everything wasn't the way it needed to be. But I'm going to tell you what, that group out there on the field tonight, they fought. And they had more adversity thrown at them than you could imagine. I mean, first drive of the game is right down the field. Bam, touchdown. You know what? Find a way to extra point, and then actually defensively for the most part did some really good things after that. All right, offensively, bam, let's go take a drive. Let's go down the field. Things we haven't been doing, we did some things. Now, we can't turn the ball over. We can't give up long third downs. I mean, there's a lot of things we got to get better at, right? But I am proud of their fight because that was a huge win for our football team tonight. You guys that follow the game and understand how big of a win that was tonight. It is not about Wofford. This was about us and finding a way. And, you know, there'll be tons of stuff we can go look at and be better at. But I can coach it when we win a lot more. It's a lot more fun to coach it when you win than when you lose. And so I'm proud of our kids. It got bleak there at the end. And, you know, we're just trying to find a way to close the game or get a first down. And I went down, you know, we went for it on fourth down. I don't know. We got it the first time, which if we wouldn't have it, I look like an idiot, but that's the way it rolls. And then the second time we punted, and I ran down there, and I said, guys, I'm putting it on y'all to stop them so we can win the game. The defense kids, they went out and found a way to do it. So though it wasn't perfect tonight, everything didn't go exactly like we'd like for it to, but I think we grew up tonight as a football team. And I think this is stuff we can build on and hopefully get back to playing like we're capable of, you know, and we're not there yet. We got a long ways to go, but I think we did some things tonight that we can go build on and hopefully get in a little bit of a rhythm of what we're trying to get accomplished. So at the end of the day, listen, I don't know what all the stats are and all, but I'm proud of our kids. The student section is probably as good as I've seen in a long time here. And when you looked up there, you couldn't see an empty seat. It was impressive. Extremely proud of that. I'm thankful for it. I want every one of those students to come back in a couple weeks when we're back at home and we go, I think about, 4 weeks in a row at home. It would be awesome. Because let me tell you something. You don't think that game right there, if we're on the road or we don't have that student section there, it might have made the difference. Because it's impactful. It's impactful. And I think sometimes those students probably don't realize how impactful they are to our kids and having success. It was awesome. Thought it was a great crowd tonight. So I'm thankful for that and everybody that came. And I'm proud of our kids, man. I'm proud of them. Like I said, a lot of stuff we could do better, but we found a way. And it got a little dicey there late in the game, you know. And but we found a way to make it happen. So proud of our kids. Nicely, it's been a while since we sing the fight song after every win. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. So it was a nice thing in the locker room to sing that fight song because it's been a minute. So that's all I can think of right now that I need to touch on. I'll open the floor for questions.
Coach, you've always said winning is hard. And I know that you had to replace a lot of pieces this year. Can you give us some insight onto why it's so hard right now? Is it because it seems like it's a struggle just about in every phase?
Yeah. So I think I don't know. I think this team, every team has their identity, right? And yes, we had some guys coming back, but if you look out there, there's a lot of new faces that are playing a significant role as well. So I think this team is, you know, they're finding their identity, and they're learning how to respond, and they're learning how to handle adversity, and they haven't learned how to practice yet. And when they do, they're going to be light years better. So I don't know that, John, there's just one thing, but this is, as you practice and you start to play, you start to see these moving parts. And that's why the thing is like creating enthusiasm. So I'll give you an example. So every Thursday, we call it Focus Thursday. It's our dress rehearsal for a game. We have shirts. Every coach out there is in a shirt. It's got focus. It is like the day. No contact, but it's high energy, efficient, effective practice, right? So after practice, that's your last day on the grass. And for 7 or 8 years here, you know, when they get done, there's some enthusiasm because the week of work on the grass is done, and now we're getting ready to go play the game. In the first 2 weeks, there was none, and it was weird. So we fixed it Thursday. And they came with some enthusiasm. And Friday night, and some of our things that we've coached up, they had some life and energy and enthusiasm about them. I think they're just trying to find their way. And I'm helping them in my way by challenging them to be the best version of themselves they can be. And sometimes that's not a lot of fun. But I thought they responded to that. I mean, we had a long practice last Friday night. Long. And it was about growing up. Finding your way a little bit. And I saw some things today that we haven't had in the last 2 weeks. And that's why we don't do a lot of things real efficient right now. And I know that. And I knew that coming into the game. But the fight and the resolve, that you can manage and work with. When you don't have that and you're not very efficient, that's a problem. We showed that, and we can build on that, and we can go fix, taking care of the ball, making field goals, big third down plays, like the things that you're going to go through and go, all right, you know, hey, we made it through a game and had 11 people on the field on all special teams. That's monumental because it's our third game. In the first 2 games, we couldn't do that. It's wild. I don't have there's no magic answer for this. It's just something our football team is working through, and that's why I'm extremely proud of finding a way to win tonight because it is hard. And, you know, sometimes you hear all these accolades in the preseason, all that stuff. Well, at the end of the day, you got a group of kids in there that's got to go fight and find a way to win a game. And maybe some of that was a little bit of a hindrance too. You know, sometimes that happens. But I don't know if that answered your question. I probably gave you way more information you wanted. But there's no particular hey, this is a problem or that is a problem. It's just collective of us being the best we can be at what we're doing. So.
Murph seemed to be efficient. I know we had the 2 fumbles on the exchange, but efficiently running the offense, seemed to have a spark. Still haven't gotten the big plays on the edge, but there was enough there to make them respect it. Is that what you were hoping to get out of him by making the switch?
Yeah, I mean, the switch was made because he earned the right to go start. It wasn't made, you know what I mean? He earned that. And you know, we told both of them going in the game, we didn't necessarily have a plan. We're going to go try to win this game. You know, we've had dialogue with both those guys on a regular basis. But I thought he did some good things. I thought he made some plays. We're trying to do a lot of stuff to help ourselves. If you guys watch us, we're doing a lot of stuff to try to help ourselves, try to get the ball in the perimeter. We still haven't been able to hit some of those bigger plays, John, that you're talking about. I think those are going to come if we'll just keep working and keep getting better. I think they're going to come. There's a lot of moving parts. You know, the new rules had an impact. I'd like to sit here and dodge it, but it has. And so we're navigating that as we go, and we're evolving a little bit offensively to manage that. The blocking below the waist rule has had an impact. And so we're navigating that as we go. And that's, you guys that watch us on a regular basis, you're seeing a little bit of an evolution of different things as we go to try to work our way through some of that stuff. And I think we'll get better as we go.
One person that did have a really big play was Markeith, the interception. I think it was the longest in program history, the return coming back. You know, something that they hadn't seen in the first couple of games. I know you guys always want to try and get 2, 3, 4 of them a game. How big was that particular play at that time to set the tone for the remainder?
Huge. You know, you know, we talk so much about energy and enthusiasm, and I talk to our guys all the time about building mental energy. Your thoughts are powerful, right? Your thoughts are powerful. I'm going to think about making a I'm going to think about making a play. It builds energy, right? So when you get in a game and you have a play like that, well, the whole sideline and the whole energy level of everybody just goes up a notch, right? Really more than a notch, a bunch. So that play was huge. and the momentum that brings and the excitement and enthusiasm. Again, I go back to energy that brings. You know, a big turnover or big plays like that are huge. And the timing was awesome. I mean, like I said, they took the ball down, bam, 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 but we didn't flinch. You know, and we just kept playing. And Markeith had a huge play, which was, from my understanding, the longest in the history of our short program. That was.
Last thing, on the 4th and 1, you're on your own 40. There's 4 minutes left. Are you banking on that energy? Because like you said, if you don't make it, you look, in your words,
not real nice.
Yeah, you look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Your words, not mine. Yes, you did. But what was that? Just, hey, we can't afford to give them the ball back. They've got the momentum, or is this, we're going to go win this right now?
I think it was a little bit of both. I think we got to grow up. And I didn't want them to have the ball back. I wanted to finish the game. Fortunately, we couldn't. We got to a 4th and 5, and we had to punt the ball, but credit to our defense, they found a way to finish. But, I felt like we could get a yard. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of thoughts going on in a very short span of time. But I felt like we could get a yard. I really did. And my goal was, hey, we got to go make a play. Guys got to grow up. And really, I want to find a way to close the game out. And we were 1 first down away from closing the game out. You could look at it the other way if we didn't get it, but we did. So, and I think things like that right now, John, for our kids, is confidence. See, we lacked a lot of confidence coming in tonight. I know you think that's crazy, but you go 2 weeks, you get beat by Sanford, you go to Cincinnati, even though they're whatever, but we lacked a little bit of, and so I think you go do some things like this and they find a way to win. Well, now we got to get a little bit of our swagger back, right? The things that, for y'all that have been here, makes us who we are. So that was just a piece of it, but I thought a lot about it. Didn't have long to think, but I felt like we could close the game out, and I thought it was good for us to find a way to go do something like that in that situation. Luckily, it worked. Weren't able to close the game, but we did get the first down.
Any other questions? Coach, going back and forth, your defense gives up a couple of big plays late in that 4th quarter. You talk about getting their swagger back. In terms of what you say to them in those moments, as you talk about this team growing up, they give up a touchdown, then they give up another 6, and you stop them after 2-point conversion, and then they have to make another stop at the end of the game. How do you create that within that unit after having given up a couple of quick scores?
So we've been on this for the last really week or so, and it's about finishing practice. And I know you guys hear me. I always talk about practice. But, we've gotten better at the front half of practice, and we're struggling at the back half of practice. So I told them before the game, I said, this is what's going to happen. We're going to go out and we're going to play our tails off for the first half. We're going to win every rep, and then we're going to move to the next one. And then we're going to come in at halftime and talk about finishing. Because that's been a struggle for us at practice. And it's shown up in the games too. Like the first game, it showed up in a big way. So, and you saw it. But I think we had a response there at the end to find a way to make a play when we had to, which is monumental. And now we can really go attack the things that I know we need to get better at finishing practice. We've just struggled finishing. I wish I had the magic answer other than we just got to go do a better job. But the good thing about it was, as you mentioned, we found a way to make a play when things were starting to go sideways. And that's hard to do sometimes because that momentum and that energy thing you're talking about, that's what the game's about. It flips back and forth. And sometimes it's hard to get it back. But we found a way in that moment, again, all these things are huge for us right now, for our football. It's hard for me to explain how big it was, to get this done. I know it wasn't pretty. I get it. But it goes in the W column. And now we can go fix some of the stuff that we got to get better at. Anything else? Yes, sir.
So with Murphy getting the start this game, him leading the team with 138 rushing yards, was that kind of you guys' game plan for him to rush that much, or was that him just, like you said, making a play?
Well, a lot of it's predicated on the defense, and if you guys go back and look at us playing Wofford in the playoffs and in the regular season, they put the ball. It's quarterback two-back game. That's just the way they defend a lot of stuff. Last year we played them, we hurt them with the two-back a bunch, and X actually had a long run against them as well. So that's kind of a little bit predicated on what the defense is doing. But we knew he got to run the ball. But that wasn't both those guys can do that. Like X can run the ball. So it wasn't like we put him there because of that. We put him there because he earned the right to start. And at the end of the day, we're going to have both those guys on this run we're getting ready to go on right now. So he made some plays with his feet, which Murph's always been really good at and can do, which was positive. But a lot of it had to do with the way they play defense. You know what I mean? It's hard sometimes to get the ball pitched against them. It's just the way they play.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All good? Appreciate y'all being here, man. Men and women, sorry. I'll get myself in trouble. John called me an idiot.